the company DFI that was on it at the time. So we went out to this test session and did a couple burnouts, did some 60-foot hits. The last burnout I did that day, I did it a little further than usual, probably a little past the tree, just try to get my tires, or the tires broken in. And the next thing I know, I get a clunk. In my head, thinking, man, it's got to be the transmission. Something's broken in the transmission. So I'm trying to look around and see what's up. Next thing I know, my dad's on the headset yelling, shut it off, he blew it up. And so I shut it off, and I got out of the car, everything seemed fine. Next thing you know, a fire starts underneath the hood. I guess an oil fire started. And so it torched everything underneath there, and kind of set us back a little bit, but we're rebuilding right now, and it's going to be a bad unit this year.
So what's the fastest ET you had with that Mustang?
It only got about 330 hits, so it's kind of undecided, but if we want to talk about what we're looking forward out of it, we're probably looking about like 420s to 4.0s, or 4.0s to 420s starting out. And then I know the Proline engine that's in it now can hold way more than that.
So are you looking to do any changes to both of those cars over the, winter off season?
Yeah, so the motor that was in the Mustang to begin with was a 481X Stage 1. We've upgraded that to a Proline 481X Stage 4. That combination can hold more boost than we're willing to give it. And then we switched engine management, the ECU, to Fuel Tech. They just have a lot more resources available for us. So, for example, we already have a date set up for next week. We're going to go over to Proline, and they're going to tune on the Fuel Tech, and they're going to put it on their hub dyno down there, and they're going to get it squared away for us. So that way we take it to the track. We have a much better idea about what it's going to run.
All right, so what's your preference, quarter mile or eighth mile?
When I went to Indy this year, I did some test sessions, and I just was really freaked out about it when I got done with the first couple passes, and I told my dad, I think 8 miles meant for me. Then we went to St. Louis, and I got a little more comfortable going past the 8th mile, and I really started to like it. The thing that's a little different about the quarter mile racing is once you get past the 8th mile, everything happens so quick. You have split seconds. Like if you think about the time it takes for you to get from the starting line to the 8th mile and then to the 8th mile to the quarter, it's like a fraction of the time. Exactly half the time about. And so when the car's moving on you or wiggling on you down the top end, like if you don't make a decision within probably half a second or even less than that, it's pretty easy to be wrong.
Yeah. So how old are you now, 21?
Yep, just turned 21 about 5 days ago, 6 days ago.
Happy birthday.
Thanks.
Now, being, where am I? I was going to say, since you started so early, like 8 years old till now, after all these years of drag racing, what still keeps you passionate about it?
Something that my dad and I just have a connection about it, and I think that's what I love the most about it, is just being with him, hanging out with him. My dad and I just strive to find numbers and just make our program better, and I just love making my program better. It's never going to be perfect, and that's what I strive for. When we get in the winter, we try to figure out what we can do to make our program better. And just going to the racetrack and seeing a new personal best pop up on the scoreboard every single time, or just personal best in different areas, that's what makes me strive.
Now, if you could have the drag racing fans that come out to watch you remember one thing about you, Preston, what would you want that one thing to be that they remember about you?
Oh, that's a tough one. I want people to know that I take drag racing seriously, but in the end, it's more about the family and the friends you meet. And I would much rather people remember me by being like a family person and friendly to them more than winning the race, more than being a winner. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, do you think you...
Because when you put a little...
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I said when you put a little kid in the car and you see that smile on your face, I've won couple races in my lifetime, and just seeing a kid smile when you put him in the car beats that over and over. I'd choose that any day of the week.
So if people come out and watch you race, they should always come to the pit area and say hello to you, right?
Yep, for sure. I love talking to people. Talking about stories with them about when they race or just how they got there. Just really cool to meet different people all over.
I mean, sometimes I'm sure you look real busy thrashing away on the car working on it, but you'll at least say hi or something, right?
Yeah, I'll never ignore anybody. When I was in the juniors, I went to a couple big car races, and a couple of the big names ignored me, and I was like, you know what? I'll never make someone feel like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's good. Now, do you think you get any better as a drag race driver? And if so, how do you achieve that to get better?
My biggest problem is when I get to eliminations, I get in my own head. That's about. I just need to be in more elimination rounds. That's what I struggled with this year. I just felt like I couldn't get out of the first round. I'd be really good in time runs, and I'd get into the first round, and my emotions or something in my head would just make me do bad. You know what I mean? Let off the button a little later than usual, that's what I would work on. Just being there, just keep going. Like the only way to get better is just showing up. I mean, I've hit the tree 1,000 times in a span of a couple of days trying to get better, and I didn't really do much better than when I didn't, because it was still just all mentality when you go up there. Like you have to be confident.
All right. Now, what do you enjoy most about being a drag racer?
I love waking up and have something to think about. I feel like I'd be pretty bored if I didn't have something to think about racing when I woke up.
Now, is there anything that you hate about being a drag racer?
Sometimes I feel like I miss out on a couple things, like a wedding here or there that I wish I could go to, but racing is more important to me.
Now, what kind of advice would you give someone that's thinking about, getting into drag racing?
My biggest advice would be have fun with it. Don't make winning. If you don't win, don't be super depressed. Just figure out how to get better, and don't look at other people. Don't try to base your success off other people, because everybody's different.
All right. Now, who's the crew for the two cars? Just you and your dad?
Me, my dad, my mom, and my sister. We all do a little bit of everything.
So what's everybody's duties?
So my dad and I we're the ones putting the motor in, and my mom's usually able to assist every once in a while, but usually that's my dad and I's big thing is we're putting the motors in, him and I just hand in hand, because we talk to each other pretty well, and if something happens, we'll bicker at each other, yell at each other, and we'll be over in 2 minutes. And then my mom, she does a lot of getting everything ready for the race, making sure we got everything packed in the motorhome, making sure everybody's got their clothes packed, and at the racetrack, making sure everybody's fed, and it would not be possible without her, for sure, at the racetrack. And then my sister, she's there for whatever. I mean, I can count on her to help me turn wrenches, or I can count on her just to be there getting the wrenches.
So the two cars, did they run pretty good for you in 2020?
The top dragster was flawless. I mean, anything that we did, anything that looked like there was a mistake was on our part, wasn't on the engine's fault at all. The dragster is definitely the best running car for me. The top Sportsman, it didn't treat me very well last year, but we got the right things in place where it should treat us a lot better this year.
Now, as far as drag racing goes, do you have any drag racers that you look up to or idolize? Anything? Inspiration?
Yeah, for sure. Kevin Fiskius, he used to race Pro Mod and PDRA and did a little bit of NHRA. He's definitely someone I looked up to. He treated me, Josh Kluger too. That crew, they just treated me with so much respect at such a young age that nobody else in the industry would do. And for them, I probably have to thank them for where I'm at today, just because they keep giving me the drive to do what I do. And then along with that, Tommy DeApril, he's someone I definitely look up to. He just, every time you talk to him, he's always trying to get better. I mean, you watch that guy in time runs, and he's just trying to hit a perfect light every single time he goes up there, no matter if he's got the race in the bag or not. He's just always trying to be the best he can be.
All right, now, do you get any advice from other drivers?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I talk to everybody. If I'm good friends of ours, Devin Eisenhower. He's one of the best class racers out there. We're good friends with his family and his dad, and I always ask his dad for some pointers because they're really sharp with their program and run a really good program over there. And the biggest thing I've noticed is if you want to win, you got to ask the winners what they're doing.
Now, when you get out there in the staging lanes, do you have any pre-race rituals or superstitions at all? Like you got to get in the car the same way, and that kind of stuff. Put your gloves on the same way, or anything like that?
Not normally. I usually like to get in. It's not. I don't really have to, but like one thing I make sure to do before every round is just do a little prayer. You know what I mean? Just get my mind clear, and God for sure helps me with that. But other than that, I'm not usually one for like if something doesn't go on right. If I put the glove on wrong, it's not usually going to throw me off.
Now, do you have any sponsorship at all?
We have people that help us. I mean, we have somebody that helps with nitrous and then we have somebody that just people that help us. And my grandpa, he's one of them. He helps with that little bit he can, but majority of it, my dad puts for, and I'm more than appreciative for him. And I mean, Oakley Motorsports, he definitely helps us out when in need. I mean, takes care of us for sure.
Have you ever had a weekend yet where you ran both cars in one day?
I have not. My dad has a rule where we bring a max of 2 cars to the track, and majority of the time it's my sister and I racing. He says more than 2 at the track, you just can't focus enough like you should. So just kind of set that. I mean, I think maybe down the road we probably could, but for right now he's kind of limited it to one fast car and a bracket car, just because if you miss a little thing on one of the fast cars, I mean, it can go south pretty quick.
Now, is there a lot of preparation going into getting either of those 2 cars you drive ready for a weekend?
Usually just about every race I'd dump the oil, check the valves, take the wheels off, put them back on, retorque them, just look for cracks or just look for bolts that are loose, because something that I did not know about getting into big cars is you can rattle a lot of stuff. I mean, there's bolts coming loose on my car all the time. Just little, I mean, they're not that important, but just, you guys got to keep checking them every couple weekends, just tighten everything down. You just never know. One round you run into some tire shake. After you just loosen one thing, next thing you know, your car's not starting up the next round.
Now, do you have any favorite tracks to race on?
Yeah, for sure. Oakville Motorsports. That's definitely the smoothest track I've ever been on. I like that one. St. Louis, it's treated me really well. It's a pretty flat track, and Indy. That's probably my top. I forgot a really important one. US 131. That track is flying up there. Jason Peterson and Daniel Peterson have that thing on skill.
Oh, over there in Michigan?
Yep.
So where do you get all your fire safety equipment from?
Alliance Racewear. That's where I get my chute. And then I get my gloves from, I believe, Impact. And then I have some. So for top dragster racing, they want you to wear a 20 layer, or 15 or 20 layer, but I have a 20 layer. And I have 20 layer shoes. I think they're Stan 21s, and then I have a Simpson helmet. The top sports for this year, I'm doing something a little different I've never done. Hooking up a fresh air system. That way if there's a fire inside the car, I have a better chance of getting out, or at least be able to breathe for a while.
What kind of tires are you running on the top Sportsman car?
Top Sportsman car, they're both Mickey's, and then the top dragster cars are Mickey's too. Big Bubba's, I mean, those things seem to go down a dirt road.
Now, throughout your racing career so far, from junior dragster on, have you reached any milestones?
Yeah, for sure. My milestone that was really cool to me was first time going into the threes this year. First time going anything over 200 mile an hour. That was definitely a rush. big milestone also this year was 370s. I just never thought I would have gone that fast, but I did, and it was an awesome experience in St. Louis. I had a video of my dad throwing his arms up in the air, and it was pretty sweet. Philip Oakley helped us there, and it was awesome.
So what's been one of your most memorable wins?
Most memorable wins? Probably the MX235 win in 2018, just because we were expected not to even be like competitive, and we just put a tune-up in it that would go A to B and hope they messed up, and every single person messed up or had some problem wrong with their car.
Now, throughout your racing so far, have you been in any accidents or close calls?
I think it's a funny story. I think when I was like 8 or 9 years old and a junior, I was in Bristol, Tennessee for the Eastern Conference Finals, and we raced there for a week. Well, at the beginning of the week, they put cones out, and I guess I got used to driving on one side of the cones. Well, they switched the cones on me, and for some reason, when I was 8 or 9 years old, I went to the wrong side of the cones and idled right into the wall.
Wow.
I can't even make that up. It's a super embarrassing story, but it's funny.
So if I were to ask you what your most embarrassing moment on the track would that be your most embarrassing moment?
Yeah, and the fact is I don't even remember it, but my family reminds me of it every once in a while, and it's a good little joke they have with me.
Nobody caught that on video?
Yeah, luckily not. Unless I be living that down.
Yeah. So now I'm gonna ask you some fun questions. Are you ready?
Yep.
So if someone were to come up to you, Preston, and they give you, say, $800 million, and they wanted you to build a brand new drag race track, where would you consider putting that new track at, and what kind of features would you want to put into it?
Somewhere down south for sure. Features in it, I'd probably have it heated That way, if something needs to go down where it's a little too cold. I think a lot has that, where they have a heated track, and I don't think I have it hooked up, but just the idea of having it sounds pretty sweet. I'd bring Kurt Johnson in. He'd be the one to do anything with track prep or just lay down the asphalt, smooth it out, make sure it's good to go. He makes cars fly down tracks. Something else. The reason I picked down south was because it never really gets cold down there. I mean, I would love to do one up north because it's where I'm at, but it wouldn't make sense because you don't get that much racing compared to the tracks down south. And I mean, they can go till like November. They'll take like a month off, and then they're like, "Yep, it's warming up again. Let's go."
Now, would you want?
I guess I'd have to.
Go ahead.
And I said, well, I guess I have to put some stands in there. I mean, just depending. I mean, if I had $800 million for a track, I'd probably go all out and make it sweet with stands and some boxes up above the stands that people can rent. Try to get an NHRA race there, wherever. I mean, I'll look on the map and see where NHRA is lacking a good track to race at in the summer, and probably put one wherever that location is. That way they can get around, and because I don't think there's anything better than getting to different people around the country to show them drag racing.
Now, would you want to put covered grandstands?
Sure. I mean, if I had $800 million, I feel like you guys go all out, right?
Yeah, keep the sun out of and keep rain when it rains.
Yes, and I've heard. My dad got a call a couple years ago about someone wanting to do some junior stuff inside, and just the idea of running cars inside just didn't sit right.
Now, Preston, do you have any hobbies outside of drag racing?
Yeah, I love to 3D print. I 3D print random things, like sometimes it's chemical molecules, just completely. And then like sometimes the other day I printed a battery holder. I designed an intake one time and 3D printed it just to kind of play around with it. It's pretty cool. I'm a full-time student and National Guard, so that pretty much takes up all my time between racing, National Guard, and school.
So how long were you in the service now?
I'll be in for 3 years this year.
All right. Well, thanks for serving.
Oh, no problem.
All right, now, well, being in National Guard, do you have to do anything now with, what's going on in the world right now?
Yeah, most of them have been volunteer positions that we've been asked to do about COVID relief and other types of things. But yeah, some of that I just can't talk about too. But a lot of it's just trying to help people with COVID. I mean, you can look online and there's a lot of people getting deployed to different places to help with COVID. Administer the new vaccine, I guess, or some people are just doing totally different things. It's pretty interesting to see what they can have you be doing.
Yeah, because I know there's a lot of stuff going on I don't want to talk about either with what the president's doing right now, with the military moving around all over the world right now.
Yeah.
All right, so now, throughout your drag racing career, have you had a greatest competitor ever?
Ooh.
Like in juniors even, did you have someone that you,
yeah.
oh, man, I want to beat that guy?
Yeah, it's probably beating Nick or Devin Eisenhower. Or probably Nick Eisenhower, yeah, Nick Eisenhower. When I was a kid, he was always the one where people would be trying to not get him in line. I would try to be rolling up against him because he was definitely the best. And line always goes, you can't be the best unless you beat the best.
Yep. So did you ever beat him?
A couple times, I imagine, but I mean, he kicked my butt more times than
Yeah.
for sure. For sure, he kicked my butt more times than I ever kicked his.
So do you keep in touch with any of the drivers from Junior Dragster days?
Yeah, a lot of them I follow on Instagram just to see what they're doing. A lot of them follow me. The thing about the Junior Dragster community is you're either friends with people or you're not. You definitely know if you're friends with them or not.
Now, are most of them still racing?
Yeah, a lot of them. I mean, some of them went on to do different things with their life, but I'd say 70 or 80% of them move on with the big cars per se or dragsters.
Now, have you won a lot of trophies or anything, plaques, stuff like that in your racing career?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, we got a whole garage full of trophies we have lined up on the top shelf. It's pretty cool to walk out there and see all of them. Most of them are from the junior days, but give it a couple more years, and I imagine I'll probably be able to start getting a couple more big car trophies.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. So now, if you were able to find a time travel machine and go back into time, would you do anything differently with the drag racing?
Probably not. I mean, I kind of loved how it played out. My dad and I mean, I might have gone back and been like, hey, Dad, we're messing up here. Let's fix this, and then it'll work just fine, because when you ruin a couple parts, you can't figure out what it is. It'd be nice to go back and save that money and time.
All right, so what's your favorite food you like to eat?
You know, I'm a big pizza guy. I mean, we got like 5 or 6 restaurants in my town of 5,000 people. That's probably my food I love to eat.
So what part of Indiana do you live in?
I live in northern Indiana. You know where Lafayette is?
Yeah.
About 45 minutes north of there. A town called Rensselaer.
So what do you like on your pizza?
Pepperoni and sausage for sure.
All right, so do you have a favorite movie of all time?
Step Brothers.
Step Brothers. Good old Will Ferrell.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny.
So what's your favorite type of music?
You know, I usually kind of listen to anything. I mean, I don't really have a favorite. One day it can be rock, one day it can be country. You know what I mean? Just an array of things. I've noticed that I've been tending more towards like the country music when I'm racing, kind of calm me down. I've noticed trying to get worked up with hype music does not work as well for me.
Yeah, a lot of people get revved up listening to, rock music.
Yeah, and that's why I've kind of shifted towards country music when I'm in a race mode, just because you go up there and you're calm, you do much better.
So you like the new country or the older country?
Yeah, I enjoy both. I'm usually only allowed to listen to old country when we're in the car. Dad's not a big fan of the per se new country.
Yeah, I've heard that from people. They're like, I don't like that hip-hop country.
Yep, exactly.
So when you were growing up as a kid, did you have a favorite cartoon to watch, Preston?
I'd probably say, don't really remember per se as much, but probably SpongeBob. I remember watching a lot of that.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yep.
All right, so on a race day at the track, how's your eating habits? Do you eat lightly during the race day and wait till the racers are done, or do you eat normally during the race day?
You know, it kind of depends. Like, if we're going out there and everything seems to be going wrong and we're working on it between every single round, no time off, I mean, we can not eat all day and be like, oh, shoot, we forgot to eat. But if everything's going pretty smooth and we're just waiting for our call, I'll eat regularly.
What's your favorite beverage?
Ooh, I drink a lot of water, but I'm a pretty big Shirley Temple fan.
All right, so what's your biggest pet peeve?
Biggest pet peeve. I can't stand to listen to people eat.
When they eat real loud?
Yeah, when they're
Like
slurping on cereal or something. That just
like smacking,
drives me
like
nuts.
smacking.
Yep, exactly. Exactly what it is.
My brother, when he used to eat, his teeth would clank together. Yeah, that's pretty annoying.
Exactly.
Now,
I just can't any type of sound. Yep.
yeah. So now, are you a cat person or a dog person?
Dog for sure. We got 2 dogs.
What kind of
I
dog
would
do you
get
got?
more if I could. We got a mini golden doodle and a Yorkie.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh, they old or young?
We just got the golden doodle because my other Yorkie passed away. But she's young, but my other Yorkie was probably about 13. But he's still doing good. I mean, he's still kicking.
That's good to hear. So, besides the one sister, is that all your siblings?
Yep, that's all my siblings.
All right. So, if you weren't a drag racer, what do you think you'd be doing?
Something with racing. My dad was really big about trying to get me into something. But I don't know if it'd be circle track or what, but I'd be doing something.
What's your favorite color?
Black for sure. Actually, I can't say that really anymore, but it used to be everything my juniors was black. I mean, now I've got a couple different colors within got a gray and a white car, but majority of the time it was black. But black is hard to keep from looking bad. I mean, you just look at it, you scratch black paint.
All right, so now as far as the sport of drag racing goes, do you have anything like on a bucket list, stuff you would want to try and drag racing one of these days?
Bucket list for racing or outside of racing? Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
In racing, drag racing.
Yeah. I'd probably love to enter a NHRA Pro Mod race one time. Just to say I was entered run one and make qualifying passes.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, in front of that stage, it'd be awesome.
So who's your favorite pro mod driver out there right now?
Oh, you know, I get a lot of slack for this when they run a turbo, but Stevie Fast is definitely someone I've looked up to for years. He just is so good for the sport. He says it how it is and doesn't hold back, and he tries to reach out to his fans, and I feel like he does that better than any other driver in the sport.
For some reason, I knew you were going to say Stevie Fast.
Yeah.
It was right in my head. I was about to say Stevie Fast.
Yeah. It's just, you just watch what he does, and he's just so good for our sport.
All right, what would you consider to be the fondest memory of your drag racing career?
Oh, probably. I've had a couple of them, but usually it's when I win something really big and get down there and everybody's just excited. You know what I mean? Everybody's just pure happiness. Just when you get a big race win and after all the stress, I mean, you get stressed during the race, but I mean, no one is not stressed during a race day. And you finally take the win. It's just a really good feeling. And just being with my dad, giving him a big hug, giving my mom a big hug, it's pretty cool. Those are probably the best feelings.
Yeah, it's probably always a fond memory when you got your family with you, right?
Exactly.
When they come to the end of the track and pick you up.
Yeah, because the thing about nobody thinks about as a driver is when you go down there and you make a freaking awesome pass or career best and everybody's cheering at the starting line, you're kind of by yourself in your car. I mean, you're cheering to it yourself. But you get down there and there's you and the other driver. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody else on the starting line's been hooting and hollering for about a couple minutes, and you wait for them to get down there. Sometimes it's a little awkward because you don't want to be rude to the other opponent.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always good to see the family's faces at the end of the track, though, picking you up to take you back to the pits.
Yeah, because it's usually good partying.
Especially after a big win.
Exactly.
Seeing those big smiles on their faces, all excited.
Yep.
So now, if people wanted to follow you and see where you're going to be racing at, is there any way for people to find out where you're going to be at?
That's probably something I lack in.
Yeah, you should make
could.
a racing page on Facebook, like a like page. Would you put both schedule for both those cars up, maybe?
Yeah, I probably would do something like that. I'll probably do like a Tanner Motorsports page. That way, covers my sister too. But yeah, I'll look into that.
There you go.
Didn't even think about anyone trying to see where I'm gonna race. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would help.
Yeah, for sure.
So how is your fan base right now? You got a lot of people that come out and watch you race?
Not a lot of people from my town come to watch me race just because we usually travel so far. But someone in the last year who's been to like more races than anybody is probably my Grandpa Joe. He's come out whenever we've been close and watched my sister race, and it's been pretty cool watching him come out.
You ever get any friends from high school come watch you race?
Not really. I mean, I didn't really hang out with too many people in high school just because I was always gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I know people who still like my stuff on Instagram, but usually no one really comes out. Usually a lot of my friends who are at the racetrack are the ones that are watching me.
Yep. All right. So now, Preston, before we close out this interview, do you have any, anything else you want to add? You want to give any shout outs to anybody out there? Any good stuff like that?
Just shout out to my mom and dad. This wouldn't be possible without them. And Philip Oakley and Eric Dillard at Proline. Those guys have been really helping us out and getting everything put together. And then also Shane Novak and Brando Seed and Zach Sackman. They're knocking out the House Sportsman car right now, getting it ready to go to the dyno, getting everything pretty much turnkey for us. That way when we get it back, we just pop it in the trailer and go down to Proline, hop on the dyno. So yeah, those are about the people I want to thank the most.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you very much for taking the time to do this interview tonight.
Thank you.
Oh, no problem. Hope you had fun.
Thanks, I did.
And maybe we'll do another one in the future where you get some big wins we'll talk about on here.
Yeah, for sure. Just let me know. I'm usually pretty available.
All right. So I wish you the best of luck with the 2021 drag racing season.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. You have a great night, Preston.
You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye.